Spendthrift Farm stallions. First 2-year-olds on the track by Golden Sense, Cross Traffic, It's My Lucky Day, Can the Man, and Shaking It Up, including Golden Sense's stakes winner Pickett, a dominant 9-length winner in the $75,000 DS Shine Young Futurity at Evangeline. Spendthrift, the Breeders' Farm.
Hi everybody, Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo. Welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift. Let's take a look at Thursday's Spa Baby race. It kicks off the Pick 6. We're going 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. Spendthrift, our sponsor, of course, is the home of Malibu Moon, the sire of Moonlit Garden, who won Sunday's Summer Colony Stakes at Saratoga. We're hoping to go 1 mile and a 16th on the turf, weather permitting. $75,000 is the purse, and it's a really interesting race with some well-bred 2-year-olds, New York breds. We'll begin with the number 1, Graded on a Curve. This one goes out for trainer Chad Brown, which almost automatically makes Graded on a Curve dangerous. He is the 2-to-1 morning line favorite and from the first crop of the well-bred Noble Mission, and this is what the Noble Missions want to do, go long on grass, I would think.
Absolutely. Noble Mission, multiple Group 1 winning, full brother to Frankel, standing in Kentucky. Noble Mission, yeah, like you said, I think going long on turf is definitely what these will want to do, but I do think that they're going to continue to develop with age and with experience. Noble Mission himself, a useful horse early on, but really blossomed as an older horse. He was a multiple Group 1 winner at age 5.
Dam won on turf going long. She's a half to the classy J. Ray, who was trained by Todd Pletcher as a multiple Grade 3 stakes winner, and J. Ray's been a productive dam. Dam of multiple turf stakes winner General Jack. We've got a Chad Brown formulator fact. He does well with these New York bred maiden special weights. Over the past 5 years, 2-year-old debuters in those kind of races going long on the turf, 42% winners, a $4.40 ROI, and it appears that last turf workout went in company with Call Provision, older Chad Brown trained runner, who's the morning line favorite in Wednesday's John's Call Stakes, going 13 furlongs. So keep an eye out and see how Call Provision did on Wednesday before making your final assessment on Graded on a Curve. The 2 is Durkin's Call. We always say experience counts. This one has plenty of experience. 3 races on the resume. He'll be stretching out for the first time, and I would expect him to show a little bit of speed breaking from an inside post.
You know, I would, and we do say that experience counts, but I don't know that I've seen this horse progressing from start to start. The buyer speed figures have gotten better, but I just haven't seen the light bulb go on yet for this horse. He is a half brother to a multiple turf winner in Frisky Magician.
Does seem to be a lot of sprint ability on the bottom. The broodmare sire is Posse, and I agree with you. While there's been slight progression, they've already dangled this horse in for a $50,000 tag. He is really going to have to improve. The number 3 is Good Wheels. This is a Rapoli homebred gelding by the fantastic stallion Scat Daddy, of course, sire of Triple Crown winner Justify. The late Scat Daddy, 15% winners with 2-year-old first-time starters, 14% winners with first turf runners. This dam has already foaled the 2-year-old stakes place dirt sprinter Over Negotiate, a debut winner and a first turf winner. It's Pletcher you must respect.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially from Mike Rapoli. We talk all the time about trainer intent. I do think owner intent is important too, because, you know, certain owners just love to win at certain venues with certain types of horses at certain meets. And, you know, Mike Rapoli, native New Yorker, would love to get some wins up at Saratoga. This is the final crop for Scat Daddy over an elusive quality mare. And that, yeah, I definitely think turf, I definitely think speed.
Do you think the 1 mile and a 16th, though, first time out might be a bridge just a bit too far?
You know, the Scat Daddies do run, middle distance type races, elongated sprint type races. In Scat Daddy, I trust.
Number 4 is Coach Via. Lots of changes here for Coach Via. Dirt to turf, blinkers off, a first-time gelding. This is a half to the turf winner Giovanna's Magic. The sire Big Brown has a 2-year-old turf winner at this meet going long. The dam one sprinting at 2. Nick Zito's horses often improve second time out, but they also often improve third and fourth time out. He likes to give these horses time. I think the distance will help. I think he's a deserving long shot, however.
Yeah, they are making a lot of changes, and I do think he's very much eligible to move forward. I definitely do like the Big Browns better on turf than dirt. Remember, he was a very good turf horse himself. But yeah, Coach Via, I consider him an exotics candidate.
The 5 Dashing Dan is one of 2 in here, coming out of that weird race at Saratoga on August the 8th. We covered it on Spa Babies. It was scheduled to be run at 1 1/16, and somehow, some way, it was run at 9 furlongs, and that probably didn't help Dashing Dan, who A, didn't have a very good trip in that race, and B, 1 1/8 is really a lot for this pedigree. The dam was a 2-time sprint winner, she a half to a graded stakes winning synthetic sprinter. The second dam, Bedside Manor, was a very fast horse. I thought 1 1/16 might have been pushing it for Dashing Dan. 1 1/8 was a long way to go, first out for a son of the Funny Bone.
Definitely, and I mean, I think it was a big ask for all of them. If you watch that race again, very weirdly run. They finished very spread out, and Dashing Dan's trip didn't help matters. Was off very slow, even steadied at the quarter pole. Still probably asking a lot to go, 2 turns here, but, is eligible to move up with a clean trip. As you mentioned, some juvenile ability in the female families. The dams have to grade 2 winning juvenile Skyway.
Yeah, I can see this horse maybe improving enough to get a piece of the pie. I'd like to see one more, though, before I get too excited and back on top. The 6 is Tiger Man, 2 sprints to a rout for trainer Russell Cash. This dam won twice on turf. One of those wins came as a 2-year-old. There is enough route ability on the bottom of this pedigree. The second dam, a stakes winner going long on the dirt, and the dam a half to a 2-year-old stakes winning dirt router named Gator Brew. Tiger Man, though, long price in both starts, didn't really do too much. I think can improve. I think a win might be out of reach.
I do like that he's getting some more distance here. He leapt at the start in his debut. His second time, I thought he broke a little better, kind of closed belatedly, passing some tired rivals. Both of those races were sprints. Might appreciate getting a little more ground to run into this time. Pace sets up.
The number 7 is Quiet Out East, who has been working steadily since late May for a top trainer, Christophe Clement. This gelding is by Broken Vow, 10% winners with 2-year-old first-time starters. The dam won 3 times on the turf and is a half to the Grade 2 stakes place turf sprinter Quietly Mine. Just a lot of class in this pedigree. The family of Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint winner Maryfield.
Yeah, and there is a good bit of speed on the bottom side of the pedigree, of course, with Maryfield, the name that your eye is drawn to. But Broken Vow, a really good, really underrated sire who's, kind of been overlooked and not talked about as much in this whole renaissance for the unbridled line that's been going on lately. And Broken Vow can certainly get you a 2-turn horse, as most of this line can, and can get you a good 2-year-old as well.
Of the first-time starters at a price, I'm most interested in the number 8, Scotty Brown. This is a son of Big Brown. His son did win that 1 1/8, that unscheduled 9-furlong turf race earlier this meet. And this one goes out for a really underrated trainer, John Terranova, who's having an excellent meet. Now, there is a lot of speed on the bottom of this pedigree, and maybe 1 1/16 is a little bit too far, but this dam has been extremely productive. 5 winners from 5 runners, including 2 turf winners.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, I very much like the Big Browns on turf. They go to turn on turf, whether that's back up the bottom side of this pedigree, I don't know. But this one does get Lucas Diaz on deep. He's riding very well there at Saratoga. I agree with you. The first time starter, you really.
The 9 is Early Retirement. This horse was a pace presser going that 1 1/8, that unscheduled 1 1/8 race. And boy, stretching out from 5.5 furlongs to 1 1/8, moving from dirt to turf. It was a big ask, and I think all things considering, this horse ran really well. Not that surprising as a son of the excellent turf stallion Freud.
Definitely. Freud, they can definitely go 2 turns. He's New York's perennial leading turf sire. He's dominated that stallion list for a decade now. Troubled trip first time out in an off-the-turf race. Got a little more ground than he bargained for his second time out. While getting onto the surface he probably wants to be on. So I am very interested to see if this one moves forward as well.
Pipes completes the body of the field. There's one also eligible and one other main track only horse. Pipes sold for $115,000 in April after breezing a furlong in 10-1 by the rock-solid stallion Exchange Rate. This horse ran okay in his career debut, an off-the-turf race, and there's pedigree on the bottom. The dam a half to Honorable Dylan, who was a very solid sprinter, and also 40 Greta, who was a champion juvenile filly in Argentina.
Yes, and sire Exchange Rate, kind of no surprise that they wanted this horse on turf. He's been so good with his 2-year-olds, with multi-surface 2-year-olds, as you'd expect from a son of Danzig. He's had 2-year-olds during his career like Sunset Glow, a Grade 1 winner who we've talked about a couple of times this summer on Spa Babies. And yeah, I am interested to see what Pipes does here, especially with that outside post, maybe able to work out a decent trip.
Let's see if he could save some ground from that outside post, going 2 turns here in a mile and a 16th. Formulator fact for Gary Contessa: past 5 years, 2-year-olds dirt to turf, only 1 for 38, a 14-cent return on investment. But Gary wanted to get this horse on the turf first time out, and it was washed off. Okay, we kick off Thursday's Pick 6 with race number 5. Where are you going?
You know what? I am going to look at that first-time starter who we both liked a little bit, Scotty Brown. I think this is a wide open race where you can take a first-time starter, especially because I think you've got to kind of draw a line through a couple of races for a lot of these. I think they're very evenly matched, experience or no. As I mentioned, I like the Big Browns from a very productive female family, has a trainer and jockey who are doing very well this meet. Behind him in the exotics, I would probably use some combination of early retirement, Tiger Man, and Good Wheels.
I was fascinated that Chad Brown worked graded on a curve with Call Provision, that older stakes horse capable of running triple-digit Beyer speed figures. I'm sure everyone in the world's going to know that after Mike Welsh writes his workout report tomorrow, which means this horse is going to get bet, but I think I have to use him in any kind of wagers. We mentioned Scotty Brown along with all of our pedigree notes. The second dam was a 2-year-old stakes place dirt sprinter, a debut winner, so there's precocity there, and maybe Good Wheels for the Rapoli stable and Todd Pletcher. So I'll go 1-8-3 in Thursday's Spa Baby Race, our coverage presented by Spendthrift.